but seriously, being able to serve with those kids actually helped me a lot better to love on my kids on a day-to-day who weren't growing up with the presence of Christ. You can definitely see the difference between just the personality types that you were dealing with. And again, they're all New York City kids, but the presence of Christ really does make a difference. So I was very thankful on Sundays to be able to serve with the kiddos so that I could feel my heart grow in compassion for the kids that I was teaching every single day. So around end of October of 2019, I get an email out of the blue from the publisher. So I submitted that manuscript back in April of 2018, and they just reached out to me at the end of October of 2019 saying we would love to talk more about your manuscript. So with this publisher, it was kind of more like a hybrid option where it's self-publishing, so there's different packages, but I'm able to be listed in their bookstore, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon. I can have different formats such as like an ebook, audiobook, hardcover, or softcover. So those are the kind of like the different things, but either way, like I would have to pay for this publishing package. And for about like 2 weeks, I'm talking with the consultant about like what my options are, but I'm also on the back end talking with God, like, hey God, like I can't really swing this. Like I'm in debt by a lot, and I don't know if I'll be able to do this or if this is the season to do it. So while I'm trying to figure that out, like on timing for things, I attend a kind of like a gala from the church. It was called Vision Builders. And the purpose of that night was just talking about how with our finances to be, if we're led by God, to be stretched in our faith, to believe for Him to do more with our finances than we could ever imagine on our own. So typically, of course, people say give your 10%, but if you wanted to stretch beyond that, like praying to God what that amount would look like. So over the course of the night, it's a fun night, like got to like dress up, which I had missed being able to do. So it's like, as a teacher, I'm not dressing up, I'm not going out, I'm tired. Okay? I'm working almost 72 hours a week, and we're not going out to like happy hours and everything like that. Like, get me to bed immediately. But that night I was able to like kind of go out and have like, some fun. And just as like our pastors were like talking about it and really just saying, open up your heart to God about what this looks like for you, I felt comforted in that moment to really embrace that this was the time to publish, to get that started, because the kind of like the first deposit amount was actually the exact amount that I had like in my small little savings that I was building up. It was the exact amount. So it's like a choice presented to me there, like would I trust God to take these savings and use it for something far beyond I could ever imagine, or am I going to hold on to it because that's what the world tells me I need to do, is hold on to savings, have savings just in case for a rainy day and everything like that. So by the end of the night, I ended up having a conversation with somebody because I'm like feeling inspired, obviously, and when I'm inspired in the moment and I need like to kind of like confirm it out loud with somebody, I had a conversation with somebody and I'm telling him like, he's like asking me like, how's my night going, whatever, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna be published. When you're just like in your own head and someone's having a conversation with you, but you just say what's on your mind. And so I tell him, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be published. And he's like, oh wow, that's so dope, that's cool, that's awesome. I was like, thanks. But I'm like zoned out, but like feeling rested, feeling at peace with the decision to go forward. So that November, it's probably November 16th, November 17th, I signed with the consultant, like I'm gonna finally do the thing, right? This is now 2019, so 2013 again, on that plane saying I'm gonna be a published author one day. Now that it's starting to become a reality. Now it's starting to get real. Now the opportunity is there. And though I had written it so long before, it was like now was the time, for such a time as this, right? That this was ready to get it started, to go out into the the world. And then I kind of felt insecure because I was like, well, is it going to be significant enough? Is it going to reach the audience it's supposed to? Is the editor even going to like it? Or, you know, what is the actual outcome? So I felt a little self-conscious about it because now it's like my writing is fully going to be on display beyond like a blog. And so that was kind of like some internal, like emotional things I was going through. And then wrapping up this episode, I would say, so in December of 2019, I'm getting ready to like head home for like the holidays and spend Christmas with my mom. And while I'm there, I had started feeling kind of like uneasy, like an uneasiness that transition is getting ready to happen, and I couldn't fully explain like why I was feeling that way, but I prayed to God and I said, hey God, like, what's going on? I'm starting to kind of feel this way. And shortly after Christmas, I had gotten a dream from the Lord, and he says to me, I'm taking you from New York to Dallas, and I need you, yes and amen. So we'll stop right there, and you will find out more about the journey from New York to Dallas in the next episode and my whole publishing process, because that's kind of like when it was happening as I was planning and prepping to do that. So tune in next week to find out more.